Highly welcome, my dear brothers and sisters out there. I'm glad that you just clicked to watch this message today. Today, I'm going to be talking about self-freedom in Yahushua. Today a lot of people tend to think that because their nation are independent, and that is why, the so-called independent, which a lot of nations are portraying themselves to think that they are, which most of the nations are in themselves not independent. So many nations got their own independence, like in the continent of Africa. So many nations got their own independence on, during the time of early 1960s and so on and so forth. So some people, or even in the Americas, you see what happened 200 and something years ago when they got their independence and what have you. And so there is this mindset on people generally, which make them to think that because a nation says that they are independent, then that gives them the mindset to think that they themselves equally are free. Now, you need to be able to understand something. Do not be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters out there. Today, a lot of younger generation of nations are trying to spring out in order to destroy those things which has already been the foundations of a lot of things which has been laid by the former people. And today, a lot of newer generation are springing out, more especially in the continent of Africa, to be able to do what, to wipe up all kind of so-called independence, which those nations in the continent of Africa pretend that they have. Because such thing is nothing that has to do with what, with freedom. And so people tend to be fighting over something which actually is like a shadow. So, and this is why I want to talk about this thing in regards to freedom. You are trying to fight over a nation of free being, or a nation, a free nation, where you can be able to, just tend to be able to be a nation where you say that this nation are free beings. Now, the question that you need to be able to ask yourself first, personally, I'm not against the people who are agitating or want to establish themselves as a sovereign nation, which is a very bold move. But I want to ask you a very, very necessary and important question, my dear brothers and sisters. You that is agitating, or you who is trying to have a self-freedom from a place or from a people who think that they are free, you who is trying to have your independence, are you independently free? Have you already freed yourself? If people like you who are not free, because you are still now, if you are somebody who is still being choked by the mindset, by the a lot of things which is, talk about religion, talk about different things which is in this particular paradigm which is being used, and you've not freed your mind. If people like you are to form that nation, because a nation is not being made up of the land or the trees there. The nation is the congregation of those people, right? So if people like you who has not freed themselves should constitute or should make up that nation, how is that nation going to be? Is it going to be a bunch of people who are zombies who are going to be manipulated over? What kind of nation are you intending to see, which is going to be formed by a people who themselves are not free? So what you need to be able to understand, my dear brothers and sisters, I'm here to be able to tell you things in regards to the things which the scripture has said, that we should be able to do what, to seek first the kingdom of Elohim. And that's seeking first the kingdom of Elohim is to be able to seek after the knowledge of the truth, which is the knowledge of truth, is the knowledge of that kingdom of Elohim, the kingdom of the mighty ones. And what is there? There is freedom there. And so there is no way you can be able to form a nation which is free if yourself is not free. So you are out there trying to say that you are agitating for a nation, which to you is still here. Now you are still here, but trying to agitate for a nation which is going to be free. The question that you need to be able to ask yourself is, Have you first taken the first bold step? Are you a free being in order to agitate for that? Or are you still being tied under the shackles of all these beings down here? Are you still being tied by the religion which is being used to tie every other nations out here? Because forget about all these damn nations, even England, even all these damn nations, these people ain't no free. Not England, not India, not America, not Japan, ain't nobody, not South Korea, North Korea, and all these people. None of these damn people are free. Forget those things which I tell you is an illusion. The continent of Africa is being trapped through a lot of things which has been done by the British people. Just the same way that you see that the American system was being constructed through the same people who have already been in the continent, and also connecting with the things which is going on in when you talk about in Britain. So people think that they are free, then their nation, because their nation is so-called free, then they themselves are free. Are you just out there? Do you really understand what it means to have a nation which is free, which is a nation which people who can be able to do what? Use their own mind by themselves. And so we go back all the way in order to see the mystery of these things in the scripture already. What does the Bible say? The Bible says, do not let anybody just deceive you and say that, lo, there is the kingdom, lo, there is the kingdom of Elohim. The Bible says that for the kingdom of Elohim is within you. And in order for that kingdom to be within you, then that means there is freedom within the people. But those people need to be able to, first of all, see that particular freedom inside of them. Because if the state of mind which you are in now, or let's say, the things which you have been fed on, you are under whatsoever religion which another nation have created. People like you now, you are under Christianity, you are under Islam, you are under this nation, you are under this nation. And they bring all of you having all this mental enslavement from different organizations, different bodies. They have all of you now who have not been able to be freed from those mental enslavements. They have all of you because you are not free. They have you people form a nation. What do you think is going to become of that nation, of that country or that nation? Is it going to be a nation of free beings when the people themselves were not free? So my dear brothers and sisters, I'm here to be able to tell you about self-freedom, which is being found in the truth, which is in Yahushua, which resides inside of you. And that there is no way a nation can stand to be free if the people themselves are not free physically, mentally, emotion-wise, all aspects of their life. Freedom has to play a part in the life. It has to be a day-to-day activity of those people. Why? Because the people who are to be able to form a nation must have to be a people who have been freed mentally, all-wise from their life, in order for them to be able to establish whatsoever they want to establish. So you are there dragging people who are zombies from one zombie to the other. You are from this religion. Somebody pulled you and tell you to be able to use you to form another nation. Do you think that you are going to be anything different from what you used to be when you have not had no change of whatsoever? Just because they change of name, or maybe they change it from one name to the other, and then you think that because the name has been changed from here to this other one, therefore that is the reason why you are now free? No! You have to understand the power that reside in the knowledge of self, which is why the Bible said about what? If the Son shall make you free. Who is the Son? The truth. So if Yahushua shall make you free, who is Yahushua? The truth. Where does the Yahushua live? Where does the truth live? Inside of you. If the freedom is going to come from you, so you being somebody who is residing in the midst of something. The Bible says, if the truth shall make you free, if you shall be free indeed. That is one thing that you need to be able to understand about your being. But first, if you have not had that freedom and you don't even have that encounter of being free, you are still being trapped under that shackles of mental enslavement where you cannot even reason for your own self. And you are out there trying to fight for a nation, or trying to do something for a nation which your own self has not been free to. You are not free. free, you are fighting for a nation which is not, which itself is going to be a congregation of bunch of people who have not been free. So the first step of reality is to do what the scripture have said. Do what? To seek first the kingdom of Elohim. And what did I say is the kingdom of Elohim? To seek first the kingdom of the mighty ones. To seek first the kingdom of the Father. To seek first the kingdom of truth. To seek first in order to see that kingdom, because that kingdom is within you, which is freedom. Freedom is within you. But you have to be able to, first of all, know this, but attain to be able to free yourself through the truth. That is how freedom comes. This is through the knowledge of truth, through the power of the Ruach which resides inside of you. So when you know these things, happy are ye. By the time the manifestation of it starts coming out, the congregation of the people who are of your own like mind, who have been fed, are going to form that nation of free beings. And there are people who are still under chains, and yet they are going to also form their own country or nation. Which the people who are not free from their own mental enslavement are also going to form that congregation of people who are of their like mind. And they will never be free, because they are going to always be in search of that freedom which never exists outside, but rather is inside. Only the people who have tapped from the inside can be able to do what? To really see and know what freedom is all about. What does the Bible say right from the day of John the Baptist? The kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. You are a nation of a people. You as an individual can make a nation. Jacob made it. Abraham made it. Through Jacob, multitude. The promise was, through thee in thy seed, multitude and companies of nations is going to spring out of you. So what is going to befall one who does not have freedom? What kind of nations are going to spring out of him? Bunch of nations which do not have no freedom. So if you don't understand the power of self-control, the power of the self-knowledge of reality, the power of Elohim which resides in you, the power of truth which lives inside of you, what is going to happen? Other agents, other entities are going to tap into that particular realm and suck your energy out of it. Which is the reason why a lot of people are still stuck in a lot of religion. Because they can see beyond. Religion has become a stumbling block, which was originally meant in order for to be something which is going to help you out to see for the higher dimension. But what happened? They made it a stumbling block to be able to send people back into what they are not supposed to be doing. So that is the reason why you see a lot of zombies following something which they know nothing about. And the main thing is to be able to elevate those people who have eyes to see, those people who have ears to hear, in order to raise them to the position whereby they themselves can be able to see and know and understand the things which has already been written for them. So what am I saying? You are out there fighting for a nation. Do you have a self-freedom? If people like you are to make up that nation, how is that nation going to be? Have you really taken that bold step in order to make it in that particular realm of reality? Just as the scripture has said that right from the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent are going to take it by force. The people who know their Elohim, they are going to do exploit. So you are a nation, and you are a company of nation, our people. Do not let people now deceive you for that. You are more than a conqueror. Remain strong in the name of Yahushua. Shalom, my dear brothers and sisters out there. Shalom, shalom.